AITA for asking my mother to leave because she won't stop wasting my food. My baby sister just had a baby and our mom came to help. My sister and her husband live in a tiny apartment with no room for my mom. I agreed to let her stay with me since I live only 8 blocks away. It's walkable. My plan was to Uber her over in the morning and pick her up after work. I only eat 1 meal a day during the week. Supper. I have coffee for breakfast and some fruit for lunch. On Saturday I treat myself to a good breakfast and Sundays I take the woman I'm dating for brunch. My mother decided that this was unacceptable. She got up early and went through my fridge and freezer to make me breakfast. I told her that I appreciate it but that I do not usually eat breakfast. She said that was stupid. I very clearly communicated to her that she was welcome to eat anything in my home but to please not make me breakfast as it was a waste. She made breakfast the following day. I walked out without eating it. I figured worst case scenario I could eat it for supper. She threw it out since I didn't eat it. I told her once more to please not waste my food. She made breakfast for me the next day. I asked her if she was developing dementia. She is wasting my food for no good reason. I'm not poor or anything but wasting food is a pet peeve of mine. She said I was being ungrateful for her help and she was doing it to be nice since I was letting her stay with me. I explained to her again that I did not need, want, require, or desire breakfast during the week. She said she understood. She made me breakfast the next day. I had had enough. I took her luggage with me when I dropped her off at my sister's home. I told my doorman that my guest was no longer welcome. I got so many messages from her and my sister all day long. Even my dad called me to ask me to change my mind. I said no. He had to drive up and rent an Airbnb close to my sister because my mom was too scared to stay by herself. He's retired so he didn't miss work or anything. My sister came over alone to talk to me. She said I was being a complete ass and that I could afford the food my mom was wasting. I said I could but that I didn't want to. She literally used up 2 months worth of my food. She made up huge breakfasts that I didn't even eat. I keep all my bacon in individual servings. She thawed out 3 for every breakfast, 1 for her and 2 for me. And I ate 0. My father has asked me to let her back in. I said I would under the condition that she understand that my food is completely off limits to her. She can pay for her own food. I said I would make room in the fridge and freezer for her. She said I was being ridiculous and petty. So my dad is staying neutral but my mom and sister think I'm a jackass. My girlfriend thinks the whole thing is hilarious. Band refuses to get involved. 3 unwanted and uneaten breakfasts in. And you couldn't get much clearer. I explained to her again that I did not need, want, require, or desire breakfast during the week. She said she understood. She made me breakfast the next day. Maybe that dementia suspicion should be taken seriously. NTA. Sounds more like your mother was initiating a power play. And that she would have continued wasting your food. Which she knew bothered you. But that was the point. Until you capitulated. Then she would have won. You throwing her out was inconvenient. So of course you had to be the bad guy. But that shouldn't have been necessary if your mother had been the least bit reasonable. People tend to take the easier route and asking a reasonable person to capitulate is much easier than asking an unreasonable person to be reasonable. I think it is hilarious too, but do I not fault you at all? You or NTA the first time was a not listening. The second and third time was your mom trying to exert her will on you. You made yourself clear that you did not want breakfast. She made it anyway and threw it away instead of putting it away for you for dinner just in case. NTA. You're a grown adult. You're allowed to set boundaries between yourself and your parents. And you're allowed to have as much distance between them as you want when they've been violating Those boundaries. Your mother wasn't respecting the way you live. So now she's no longer a part of that. Simple. Whilst I do think breakfast's an important meal, I'd be a hypocrite to agree with her as I skip it too. I do intermittent fasting, so I also only have one meal a day. Late afternoon, early evening. As long as you're having a nicely portioned, nutritionally balanced meal, it's not stupid like she suggests. It's backed up by nutritionists and dietitians. Not to mention the food waste if she isn't paying for something. It's rude of her to throw it away. She can sort out her living situation herself since she clearly doesn't care to show some respect to you when you've kindly let her stay with you and already tried to explain your issues, which she refused to listen to. NTA. There is no reason why you should put up with her complete disrespect of your wishes in your own house, day after day after day after day. Please don't ever break up with your girlfriend. She is a gem. And NTA. I am a mother of adult children. Had I been in your mother's position, there would never have been another breakfast made after the first. Had I made the first one without checking to see if you were even interested, because you would have told me not to do it. I think your conditions for her staying with you again are more than reasonable. Again, your girlfriend is great. My mother decided that this was unacceptable. That's it in a nutshell. She decided that mother knows best. I told her that I appreciate it but that I do not usually eat breakfast. She said that was stupid. You told her you didn't want breakfast. She made it anyway. You tried for the nice approach to let her know you really meant it. So she doubled down. She made breakfast the following day. She threw it out since I didn't eat it. Then she pitched a hissy fit because you still weren't doing what you were told. She made me breakfast the next day. Said I was being ungrateful for her help and she was doing it to be nice. And now she's trying the guilt trip to get you to obey. She made me breakfast the next day because you're still being a naughty, disobedient child. This was 100% a power play. NTA. NTA. And tell your mom this. It's my house, my rules. You know, the one they used to say to you when you were growing up. I know you were most likely just joking when you asked if she had dementia, but do you that could be a possibility? To continue to cook food she knows you won't eat and knows will be thrown away is disturbing. The fact that your sister thinks you should just let her keep making food to be thrown away is also disturbing. How long was she planning on staying with you? My sister came over alone to talk to me. She said I was being a complete ass and that I could afford the food my mom was wasting. But why? Why is that a better option than your mother just taking no for an answer? Such strange, don't rock the boat, language. NTA. But if I were you, I'd be tempted to suggest your father gets her checked out for cognitive problems. Just in case. The most likely explanation is that she's doing some weird nesting thing triggered by your sister's new motherhood. But it'd be better if she channeled that into something useful, rather than repeatedly wasting large amounts of food. NTA. Your mother willfully refuses to believe that her help isn't your house, your rules, and she refuses to follow one simple rule. NTA. Your girlfriend is smart. NTA. In the least you have made it very clear that you do not wish for her to fix breakfast and don't appreciate her wasting your food. The very first time is understandable, but repeatedly doing it is pretty ridiculous. NTA. I'm with your girlfriend on this. It's hilarious when you aren't the one involved. It sounds like your mom is in caretaker mode and you are the unwilling recipient of that. Maybe you could have come to an agreement about dinner instead of breakfast, but I get you are annoyed. Are an adult and it's your place. NTA. Let her waste your sister's food. NTA Make sure when you visit on the holidays to fill a plate and look her in the eyes while you dump it in the trash. She will obviously have no reaction whatsoever. NTA. You were polite and clear. She chose to override your boundaries. She gets the boot. NTA. Why didn't she bring the uneaten breakfast with her to your sister and her husband to eat? Tired new parents could always use pre-made meals. Why just toss it? Are you intermittent fasting? Have you lost weight this way and your mother struggles with her weight, and she was trying to sabotage you or get you to backslide? You sound very organized with your food. I am hoping no too organized into disordered eating territory. As long as that is not the case, I admire your willpower. That takes a tremendous amount of strength to deny bacon. Good for you. If your mom does come back, and she insists on cooking large quantities of food, have her purchase her own food. Either freeze it for meal prep, or bring it to your sisters. At any rate, I hope things calm down so everyone can enjoy the baby. They are a blessing. NTA. Your mother is boundary stomping. NTA. She was making more work for herself and wasting your food for absolutely no reason other than her own stupid guilt-tripping power play. And she has the nerve to call you ridiculous and petty?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.